are live. Hello.
Hey,
Hey
hi.
everyone,
Hey y'all.
what it do?
How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? What's up?
We're live with the girls,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
How's
today
everyone
we're
doing?
going. Oh, go ahead.
How's everyone doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Had a pretty okay day,
Right.
but yes, it is. When is Are we almost at the new moon? Because I ain't been keeping track.
We're about a day off, a day away, because it's in
Okay,
Florida.
okay, that's good shit. So we almost new moon, and we wanted to talk about a few topics regarding. Hold on, all things Gemini energy. And if y'all want, we can start with our team morale. Like, how do we keep a good, balanced team morale as a group of women? If y'all want to talk about that,
Say the question one more time for me.
you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat the
Oh,
question?
I said, how is it that we, or if y'all want to give some type of insight on our own team morale, because Gemini is like group efforts, friends, dynamics, and stuff like that. A lot of times you could be wrapped up with in a group or a community that you might don't even vibe with, or just have to be in that situation off of default, got to go to work. So, in our situation, we're choosing to be in our scenario together. So, how would y'all say that first of all, how is our team morale? How would y'all describe that? How would
I
y'all
think
Y'all go. Somebody go.
I know the answer to one of the
Bree,
questions.
Shine, Hank, Empress.
Had we said, how do we keep? I know we try to stay in community. We have our chat.
Is it me or you breaking up?
It may be me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. I think it's the if the Hank. I see. Mute yourself
Yeah,
for 1 second. Okay,
what you
now free
that sound. I'm
free
breaking up.
safety. No.
No, you never. I don't think so.
Yeah. I was just saying we just try to stay in contact consistently, have our set days to talk and even saying random things to each other, getting personal and getting familiar with each other. That good Gemini energy. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
We also have
and it's
somebody on backstage. So in a second
okay.
after this, we can
okay. So they want to
join
hop.
you. Hmm. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about the team morale. What about you, Shine? How do you look at our team morale, or our joint energy signature as a cohabiter of the group? Like,
Yeah. All of us, we're consistent on, you know, just being direct and talking about the energies, really. And, being, um, getting personal within each other, getting to know each other,
Yeah.
and getting to know our temperature. So, we're here. Sorry. With one another that way. Sorry, I just got a call.
Oh, it's
oh,
okay.
well, I would say one. I think we got good team morale because it's like we're all on the same. We're all we all understand the mission. You know what I'm saying? And we're choosing to be in this space with each other. So that by default kind of like puts you in a default safe space. So that's what I would say our team morale signature could be. It's like a safe space. This is too loud of my. It's like a safe space, and it's based on us all having a center focus. And that's what is that noise? Is that me?
Yeah, I hear that.
Sound like somebody biting. What the fuck? Oh, hold on. Let me take my headphones off.
There we go. It just cut off.
Okay. It kind of scared me for real.
Yeah.
It sound like a monster. But we all already are.
Oh, Jade,
Jade, I think it's your mic.
oh yeah.
I was like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr." That's why I got scared, low key. I'm just playing, get scared. But I believe that the fact that we already chose like individually before we even met each other, we were in a certain um space to want to have some type of um connections with somebody. So that kind of helps the team morale. But that's for any type of like sports. What's up, Star? That's for any type of like group.
Hey
We were talking about
y'all.
the team morale.
I'd like you to put the question.
We were talking about the team morale. Okay, it's gone. So I think that kind of leads us. I put the topics in the chat, y'all, but I think that would kind of lead us to like what we was talking about the other day about like being able to express your own original thought depending on the group that you're in. And if you can't express your own original thought or have your own thought, then like, are you in the right type of group? Because then that's going to set the tone for the morale, and you won't be in sync with it. Like so.
I think
But we were talking about the team morale.
it's kind of like our compatibility. It's like we all have different energy, but I think that us having like the same or similar spiritual systems and morals that helps with our compatibility and our relationship building and being able to understand one another and our differences. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would y'all say we had friction? I mean, I think we do a little bit. We have a little bit of friction sometimes. Not all the time, but yeah, it's understanding and being relatable, and that's-
We were talking about accountability and boundaries within communities or groups. So it's kind of like in our group, for an example, as far as like how my perspective and my angle of it, when it comes to certain things, like they don't have nothing to do with this group. Like how you have certain friends for certain things, certain acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? For other things, like I feel, at least in some type of scenarios, that you should keep. That's how you can maintain boundaries by making sure that the everybody has a same focal point and we all are attracted to that. So it's no point in bringing other side attractions that has nothing to do with our own center point to the scenario, and that can kind of like maintain your own boundaries and accountability. What y'all got to say about the boundaries? Because me and Stargirl and Shine had wrote the little topic list, and when we were talking about accountabilities and boundaries, we were really talking about the Diddy community and how nobody held him accountable in his community. We know he got a lot of people around him. Nobody ever looked at the situation like, oh no, that's not cool. We know that people did, but we know why they couldn't speak up. But in regular situations, those type of things go on all the time, and nobody want to. Ooh, I was just in this situation that was like day before yesterday. And I didn't speak up. I just left. But
that's what
I'll
I
tell
was
y'all about that in a minute.
going to say. That a lot of people who did have boundaries within his community, they left. But the thing is, I think it's a lot of contracts and business involved also. So the only thing you could do is leave and be quiet, or you go, you gotta stay susceptible because maybe you care about getting blackmailed, or maybe you feel like you in a bad spot, so you don't want to.
Or you won't be cool with nobody. You ain't gonna be looked at as cool no more.
Yeah, like people try to get in, and I think
I
it's
wish I could show y'all this video. Go ahead. I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. Who Who the hell is that? Oh, she probably dropped out, but I'm making note. But
Oh snap! Hello.
what's up?
What's good, y'all?
What it do, this coach?
Hey.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm happy to finally be back around some individuals that really, really help me move forward. I thank you guys.
Okay.
I thank you.
Thank you for even coming up here and giving us, giving us that.
Yes.
Yes. You guys are the
What you,
truth for me.
so what you think about accountability and boundaries in friendships and relationships? Like how do you
Oh,
keep your own personal, even when you may have a friend or a group of friends that has already become like comfortable with certain behaviors or whatever, and then you get in the group, how do you, by not stepping on their toes, allow them to have boundaries or still hold them or yourself accountable and still be in the space of okay, I can still, or do you just separate? How would in your everyday life and regular life, I know you've been through these situations, so how do you go through those?
right. So when it comes to me, it's definitely me speaking about what I look at. That's the first thing with my groups. I'm like, hey, I look at Dolo the Pilot Man. I look at Shine. I look at JDB. I look at Jackie New. I study astrology. And me speaking from that, like about that from the door, that's how
Mhm.
far they will go with me with certain topics. But they still support my music. They still support, my brand. But it's just certain things we don't talk about, so it puts me into okay, well, I'm watching y'all. Like literally, I'm in South Carolina. I have no friends here. Like everybody's spread out in different states. So I just
Mhm.
respect I literally respect people's boundaries by not speaking about certain things.
Mhm.
And that's how we keep it. So the money's flowing, but for
Yeah.
me, I want it to be deeper than that. But it's
Right.
not happening right now. It's not happening right now, to be honest. This is why I'm here talking to y'all.
Exactly. Yeah. So at that point, it's not even really about the boundaries are like fully set. You got you'll be in a space of only you can hold yourself accountable because nobody else is even on that same like frequency or vibration, even know what is accountable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because for an
Right.
example, day before yesterday, and this is it's so stupid. I probably shouldn't even bring it up. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all anyway. So I was first of all, I remember like last week. I'm not gonna add all that. So the day before yesterday, I was with my brother, sister, his old lady, his baby mama. They got like 8 kids together, and she real ratchet. And we at the park with the kids, and other families are at the park. And she get drunk. I wish I could show y'all the clip. She all on top of the car, bouncing that ass and just shaking them titties. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, it was funny at first, but at some point, okay, enough is enough. So, like, that was a part of my soul community, those people right there. But this is further allowing me to know, okay, yeah, you may love these people, but you got to, at some point, I had to hold myself accountable for even sitting there in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying about
Mhm.
how like the people around you, you can't, they might not vibe with you on certain things that's like close to your heart, but you still deal with them um just based off of having to have somebody to talk to. But in that moment, like, I don't know, for me, I had to hold myself accountable. I was not only it actually brought my vibration down for real,
Mhm.
all the way up until today. Like, I feel like that was why my vibe was like down a little bit, because of what I allowed in my space and what I continue to allow to go on around me for real. And it really bothered me at some point because now I'm embarrassed and I'm not even but
Right.
I'm a Gemini myself, so I like to be around people. But at some point, like, I have to have my own boundaries on what I allow around myself, in spite of me wanting to be around and have company, you know? Let me look at another topic. What y'all got to say? Shine and Star, because me and you, Star and Shine, we was talking about hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, the what it is, the group think. I don't really know what that is, but you were saying, Star, that was like a group of people believing in whatever they believed in, whether it was true or false, but it was like something that was accepted because they all agreed on it. I think you. Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
was
I
talking.
remember that. What y'all was just talking about accountability.
We was talking about accountability and boundaries.
Um, yeah, I do think it's important for, because it's not, I kind of just look at it like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So I do believe, like, obviously your boundaries come first, right? Like holding yourself accountable and just honoring like who you are, and then also just knowing, like, I think what you were talking about, what's your name with the headphones on?
Oh, Samira.
Samira. Yeah, you were talking about like just, not, it's not stuff, not being in a space to where you may feel comfortable with like bringing up certain things. But I think like when it comes to being in the community, and I think it's important to establish like what everyone is there for,
Mm-hmm.
so that, like, because I feel like that, like, once that is established, it becomes easier to address certain things, because it's like if it's something that is jeopardizing the space, or whatever y'all are coming together on, or what values you say you believe in and uphold and stuff like that. I feel like at that point, then it's like if you notice something within the community that's like kind of throwing that off, or not really honoring that or upholding that thing, then yeah, I think it is necessary to like speak up and like voice your opinion. One of the things we brought up was like the Diddy, the whole Diddy thing that's going on, and because I was just like, so no one, like, pulled him to the side and was like, all right, this may be getting a little too far. You going a little too overboard with things, and because it's like at some point you got to think like, okay, like somebody saw something, knew something was going on. But also, I guess understanding like other people got their things going on and their families to go back to and things like that. But at what point, is it like now we have to question this community because no one is like really speaking up and saying anything? And it's like, okay, you may not do that. You might not do what Diddy did or go that far, but is he not a peer, in this community? Like, how do you, I guess one of the questions that we wanted to open to just community in general was like how, gain others' perspectives on ways or solutions that where we can handle things like that, where we're not afraid, and just afraid, like, for lack of better terms, but we're not afraid to say something to the person or pull them to the side,
Right.
and have a little
Because
chat.
if because the one side topic to add on to that was expressing your original thought and speaking up
Mm-hmm.
using your voice. And if you're gonna be a solid individual just as a who you are, then that should be like that should be a given type shit. And
Yes,
I
I do
guess a
want to
lot of
speak on
people.
something.
Go ahead, say that.
Yes, so my uncle, for example, now me and him, we were supposed to do a lot of shows together. Like I just started to get to know him. As this age, I'm 30 years old now, so I just started hanging around him. And he's known, I guess, in his profession, he's a Snoop Dogg impersonator. Now, behind closed doors, as a man, he literally just he's going through some domestic violence. So what I told him when it comes to my brand typical, you're not a part of that. I shut that down. You're not a part of that. You're not going to know where I live until you get yourself together. I don't mind, like, that's what I'm doing when it comes to me in business, when it comes to anybody. Behind closed doors, you're not going to be repeatedly a part of anything that I'm doing because I know what you're doing to these females.
Mm.
I know what you're doing to these females. So no, you're not a part of anything. So that's what I talked to my family about, like they did me as a kid. A lot of doors was closed on me because of what I was studying, back to the whole astrology thing. Like some of my family are Jehovah Witnesses, some of my family members are Masons. I couldn't come in the doors. So now that I put myself where I have my own business, you got to get yourself together. You got to go learn these lessons like I did. Go apologize to these women. Go apologize to the people that you hurt. And then maybe we can shake hands and make some bread together. Maybe. But that's the first thing. This is not about money. I make that very clear. This is not about money. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I've been doing when it comes to my personal family. Like, yeah,
Yeah, taking accountability is
take that
key.
So
accountability.
pretty much
Mhm.
boils down to integrity for real. If a
Exactly.
person has integrity, then, or if you are an individual, to even become your own individual self and live in that, you would have to have something. Well, I ain't gonna say that because that's different. 'Cause I was gonna say having your own individuality would be synonymous with integrity, but no, that's not the truth. Because some
Yeah.
people, individuality is just straight up, what did he do? So that's not. I'll take that back. But it kind of boils down to what you finna say, with integrity.
Yeah,
You know.
I had individuals that waited for me to get into a position and they still had this hood mentality of, "Hey, can I use your name to do this? Hey, can I use your name to get my credit right?" But what you're trying to bring me back to the hood mentality. That's what you was waiting on this whole time. It was like it was never a route for me to get to the place. It was route for her to get to the place so we can bring her back down. So my boundaries, you're not going, like I said repeatedly, you're not gonna know where I live. You're
Well,
not
you're
gonna
a
be a part of
Capricorn,
it.
right, Samara?
Yes,
You're a
ma'am.
Capricorn, right? Yeah. So you
Cancer moon.
you already have that boss type of you know material things around you. And I guess people probably look at you like, yeah, she gonna look out for me. And somebody
No,
like P Diddy, like a Scorpio, he'll know that's what's going on and play off of that. But that's where the integrity come in at. Like, I'm not gonna. No, even if it
correct.
was down to money.
Morals and principles is the first thing with me. Morals and principles. That's all I truly wanted to say. And I hope he
Okay,
watches
then.
this.
Oh shit. Okay, then. Well, so JD said we need to move to the next topic. What was the next topic?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Okay, everything Gemini. Okay.
I just want to say one thing about the Diddy topic. It makes
Okay.
me think about like Diddy, like spiritually, to even be so open to energies like that and invite that energy to your space internally. He got no boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
He got no like accountability in a sense,
Yeah,
you
and I
know.
also because well, I'm not too into it, but I did see something about his mom, so I'm pretty sure his childhood, that's the type of stuff he was into. So I feel like hurt people, and that's all he knew. So it's like it worked for him because that's really who he was, and he was genuine about who he was because that's what he knew as a child, and he was able to get through a lot of years doing it, and nobody was having power issues, that Scorpio stuff, and hey, but what done in the dark comes to light, and it's like it don't matter if he didn't know that it was wrong, it still was, and he still was. But I feel like he, hurt people.
And that's how you learn. If you don't know, you're gonna figure it out through life. Because like you said, Shine, if he ain't have no boundaries, that means that if you were around him, you can have boundaries either. You know what I'm saying? And then that means that he would, being a Scorpio, because you're not gonna necessarily run over him, but by with that energy, just in general, he'll probably allow people to think that's what they doing, just so he can catch them at the end of it in the back end type shit. So
yeah, and then if the people around him are not showing him, of course, life is not showing him yet that this is not okay. Like, so now it's like maybe life is showing or whatever. I don't even want to get deep
come back
into all of
around.
that, but
Shit, come back around.
things you learn by experience. That's it.
And people in those high places, they think they can I don't know if they might not even think about it because they might not have ever had to face consequences because they can maneuver around just having the consequences slapped in their face. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get sued for $1 million, but I got 50 million. Yeah, I see that I got sued, but it ain't nothing. I'm gonna pay that off. But at some point, when it comes to those deep thoughts, those inner thoughts, your memories, what you have done to people's energies speaking to you behind closed doors, they over there still in trauma based off what you did. All that's gonna accumulate at some point, and now here you go with his situation for an example. I don't know I don't be into it that much. I know everybody knows what's going on, but I don't really keep up with it. But I'm quite sure he's going through some mental anguish, and if he ain't, then that's weird. But
Yeah,
and I don't know what he's done. I can't say he's guilty or not. I don't know.
That's why I feel like that's where community do come in at outside of just the Diddy situation, because I feel like a lot of the times a lot of stuff can be prevented. Granted because my parents, my mom and stuff, when I talked to her about it, which I didn't really talk to her much about it, but it's just the same thing. They well, we seen that coming. Because they grew up during that time, where he was when they was all around the same age and stuff like that. So they saw certain quality traits. But I think another key thing in this whole thing is that music industry is already just tainted or whatever. I think that community, we, it's just tainted, and it's even to why the celebrities don't speak up and speak out on certain things, or it's a certain way they got to do it. I told y'all I went to the Cowboy Carter concert. I don't know if y'all have been to it or maybe seen clips, but her show was Beyonce's show was very political, and I feel I don't know, because it's she did I respect and appreciated the performance and things like that for what she did speak out on and stuff, but it also just makes me wonder why she chose that way to do it, where it's someone like her, she can just you see somebody like Kanye, right? He just say whatever come to his mind or whatever. He go on Twitter and tweet it. Now, I'm not saying everybody gotta be like that or do it like that, but I do feel Beyonce is a bit strategic in how she speak out on things and stuff like that. So oh no, it's interesting because I'm is she trying to change that community and make certain things you know. But then I also look at what she's doing and I'm like, okay, we've had like older, you know, like back in the day we've had political artists, like we have people like Erica Badu who has speaking out on certain things, Lauren
What did
Hill,
she do that was political?
uh, Beyonce. Well, the first song is American Requiem. She does when she opens up, and then she like there's a set part in there where she goes from there. She sings like I think the anthem, and then she goes into Freedom.
And
But like it's like a video playing like during the anthem where it glitches, and then it shows on the screen like never asks permission for something that's yours or something along them lines. And you know, so she's kind of like clapping back
but
at
but all at the
America.
same time she's singing American anthem. That shit,
So she
I don't.
like that's like if that's like if we took like a common thing, but like we revamped it and we was like, nah, that's not really that. You know, it was like that. It was like
Yeah, it
it's like
sounds confusing.
it's like she did the anthem, but she was also like, fuck this anthem. You know,
Yeah, whatever,
like this
Beyonce.
like this not really fake. You know, I mean like this not really real type of thing. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting.
she just trying to probably trying. She probably don't even know. She probably just confused herself and probably trying to confuse. Probably trying to fit a narrative over here and at the same time fit a narrative over here and at the same time be entertaining over here and none of that shit sound real to me.
Yep.
Real. All of it sound crazy because I mean I don't
Um,
know I don't be looking at that Beyonce and stuff, but
I
it's
feel like
she's like the poster child.
she definitely it's a thin line. She definitely don't cross. I'm never gonna be a
On
Beyonce.
purpose.
I'm never gonna be a Beyonce, but I'm gonna be JDB. And I say respect to another artist. Um, my bad. I was just trying to text V to make sure she's straight so she can, because she hopped out the chat. But I feel like she moves accordingly. Um, because it's like she represents so much, but then at the same time, she as an artist, she doesn't really speak as much when
Hmm.
she's calling these things out. She uses her music more so. And I think for her role that she plays in the industry, she kind of has to do that because it's kind of like in like the different countries that they have, like the queens and shit like that. Like they're not able to just be so blunt
I
with it. It's
I
like,
heard she finna move to England.
oh wow, that's the synchronicity.
Her
So,
and Jay-Z
um, but
because
yeah,
they go.
I feel like some when it comes down to team morality or team morals, certain industries they really go against that. So you gotta create that family dynamic, that space where it's like, hey, this is not a safe space for toxicity. This is not a safe space for lack of accountability, but this is a safe space for this and whatever we want to make it. So I think everybody was on point with that. But Beyonce, not maybe, I don't know if that's the best example in this circumstance because of the position she played. So, but I respect her role. We gonna
What you
say
mean?
Yeah,
She
it was
ain't
more
special to
so
me.
my curiosity came from more so just like you brought up Jay, like the way she does speak out. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, you know, but I think you bring up a good point too. Like even like within these, because it's like communities within communities, right? So it's like
hmm,
she's a part of this music industry, but she's kind of tried to like carve out
right,
her own space and do her part, I guess, where she can. You
yeah.
know, like I don't know her like that, so I don't, you know, I
It's
don't
like
know all the.
hard,
What does
right?
she speak out on
It's
in her
like
music?
hard to
I've
come for
never.
That's not. I can't.
it's
Well,
hard
at
to
the
come for any
show,
one
like her
individual.
shows are pretty political. What'd you say, Jay?
It's hard to
Right,
really
they're
come for
political.
anyone. It's hard to come for any one individual because we all collectively play a team part in honoring some type of moral system. So I think she does a good job for her, but I can't necessarily delegate. I can't sit there and say I know if she's doing her part. I may think on the outside like, okay, she's doing what she can, but I don't know if she necessarily know if she has that power and she's using it. Like I
She
don't know.
gets disingenuous to me.
I don't know.
She gets very
She's like
disingenuous
very
and
thin lining, very just
disingenuous.
in
I feel
ambiguous energy for me.
kind of everybody knows what's going on. We all talk about it. I feel like it could be like a vibe of why start a war, but at least know like who I am. But like why start a war, say something on social media, or have this as my image when you know you're not in a position to be like you can damn being like yo, you can end up
Breaking up.
like you can end up like
Yeah, you are kind of breaking up, Free.
Well,
but
if you could talk closer to the camera, maybe.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
But you're on point. Keep going.
Yeah, you make a good point.
because it's like why start a beef or jeopardize her kid. It's like a good example. Like,
Yeah.
like so you can't
When it's some things that's just it's designed to be fucked
Yeah,
up.
because she's kind of been born into that system. Now she can't speak up or say anything wrong at this point. She's gonna lose the whole empire.
But
I think that's why they moving to London.
The crazy part is that we going back like with the Diddy thing. That wasn't even shit. That's probably was on Beyonce mind. Was not on Diddy's mind when they was kids. Like she grew up in a whole different space, so that's why I can't really talk to her because it's like.
Oh, so y'all trying to? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that's where the direction was at.
No,
so y'all trying to like?
I still see that point. I almost just said straight Gemini. That's your Gemini. I see that point. Like, if I was to rate her on a scale of like, I don't know, I can't.
That music industry, for one, that music industry is an MFer, and then I just feel like like y'all said, like she grew up in that, so like she's already like she just shook a lot of hands.
She already got a lot of blood on her hands too, behind closed doors. I'm quite sure of that.
She probably.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of comes with it though. Like even
that comes with it.
Like even with him speaking out on certain things, he's still a puppet in certain ways,
Right.
And I do believe to a certain extent
you
do allow yourself to be used, but you have your own purpose and intention, because it's just like we got to get up and do what we do for for ours,
for the love of money. Yeah,
like that. Well, I love money. I know I need it.
Not you. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about the singers.
Yeah. But like Free was saying, like she has kids. Like she got kids, and then I think the twins they are on the spectrum or whatever. Because Rumi was kind of giving those vibes. I mean, I've worked with kids, so I can kind of identify certain things. I'm like, she may be on the spectrum. Kanye bogus for flashing that though. But yeah, like she has children, so she's just, I don't know, because maybe Blue will come in, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the kids will come in and like, nah, fuck all this shit. But
that's like, how they be like you start seeing.
There's some wild feedback going on. I don't know if it's just me.
I hear that too. Think about like her bloodline and her being like a Virgo and her having this like perfect type image, and then her childhood, like the type of trauma she had, because at the end of the day she just a human, and everybody just like humans, and you think about everybody just stuff okay. Everybody.
Yeah.
So my bad.
Yeah, I think the beauty of all of this is like us being able to get together and decide how we want our community to look, and what establish our values, so that we are not put in positions where we are too afraid to speak up, or can't say this or can't. But I do think there is going to be a level of like managing though, that like going back to what you said, Free, like why start a war with, you
Mhm.
know, and then I think another part too is just women. I feel like we're really strategic when it comes to certain things. So I feel like just touching going back to the Beyonce thing, I feel like she just seems like she's very strategic with what she's doing. Like, because for all I know, 10 years from now, it can be some stuff, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't know that was going on behind
Right.
the scenes.
That's what I be thinking. Okay, I know
That's bad feedback, man.
we got some bad feedback. It might be your thing, Samara, but it's okay if you got something to
You
say.
know what I'm saying?
Okay, there we go.
So it's like,
That was it.
when it comes, I think, yeah, I feel like people be underestimating women, you know, and like what we be having up our sleeves.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm noticing.
Like
Like
the
I
moral
be,
compass, be
yeah,
real. Like we got a crazy moral compass that we naturally
Mhm.
follow.
I feel like
Hmm.
women are using their brains now more than ever. Like I be like so
Yes.
surprised that men don't be catching on to I, like yeah, but they I be surprised like how you
yeah,
don't understand what she like. I
So,
don't
so
know.
yeah, and that's how I felt at the concert. I'm like, hold on, like this is symbolism. Like she up here
Yeah,
on these stages
Yeah.
because it's like she on these stages. She still gotta make a living, but
But
like
see, that's what.
it was a lot of symbolism though in that concert. And I've never
that's what I
been
was
to a
just about to say
Beyonce.
too. In the
Uh-huh.
music, there's a lot of influence. So
Mhm.
knowing
And
how to use that correctly is power. That is the way she be. That's where I be having to give her credit. Like as an artist, knowing how to use your sound, and that's any craft, to fucking move people in the right direction. That's the
Yeah,
best thing you could do when it comes down
yeah,
to being like a team player, because you're not using
yeah.
your gift against people. You're using your gift to
To
inspire, to
uplift,
enlighten, to
yeah.
uplift, to
Mhm.
help support people the way you're supposed to.
Yes.
and
And
that
that's
takes
one thing for sure. Like people were uplifted. Like, you know, like her message was positive, and it was also just like empowering. Like I said, when she had that thing show up on the screen, and she was just like, actually scratch this anthem. Don't you ever kneel and ask for permission. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't you, you know, I said don't you kneel. But yeah, don't you get out on your knees begging somebody to give you something that's yours. Even like little stuff like
Mhm.
that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's
yeah.
just like, what she mean by that? People who don't even know, people who not into the stuff that we into, but listen to Beyonce or something like that, and then go to
Yeah.
her concert and see a message. So like, because this artist that's not even doing that, you know, like,
Exactly.
it's a
And I
whole
feel
lot
like
so
more
it's like I
that
don't
could be
really know
done too.
everything
To be
I
honest,
don't know everything she up against, but
yeah.
I know what I'm up against every day. You know what I'm saying? I know when I have to bite my tongue sometimes because I know I got kids back at the house waiting on me, you know, and I can't, you know, go too far and then I'm arrested and then, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-mm,
like,
Yeah.
it's
mm-mm.
tricky.
how much was the tickets?
I ain't bound.
But
But you
I
know,
feel like it makes sense
you
to
can get tickets for like $70 and
Yeah, I
really.
thought
you
I
know,
heard they was cheaper at the door.
yeah, if you go the day of, you can get a ticket for like $200, $80, but you know, it's gonna be like in the 400s. But it was a Mother's Day gift, so I don't even know how much.
I've never been a Beyonce fanatic. I got a
Me
brother,
neither.
a gay
Me
brother, and my gay brother still is a Beyonce fanatic. He's so lame.
neither.
And my sister, she used to like Beyonce, but I ain't never been. And Beyonce can sing, but I just ain't never been no fan like that.
And I feel
I
like
don't
it
be,
makes
I don't
sense
be
for her
getting.
to just, give that message to the fans who actually come to the concert. You know, like the
What you
real
say?
ones, like that you really want to help are the ones that actually, coming out and supporting you. So I feel like that
Yeah,
makes sense for her to give that to those fans or those.
Did it make a little make sense?
yeah.
Because how many people be in the concert?
But when you were saying free about starting a whole war, I'm quite sure that these celebrities be seeing stuff behind the scenes that they should probably want to say something about. And at some point, being in the business for so long and like just being in it and being like a main person in the spotlight, I'm sure that you have to, like you said, the symbology and things like, I don't know, because I don't pay attention to Beyonce, but I'm sure there are things that it's like, should I do that? Well, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway to check it. So when you were saying like her having to start some type of or bring something up, why would she want to do that? I get that. But at some point, just being an individual, it would be some things. Well, I don't know, because I guess Beyonce could, because she is kind of like, what's the word for her? Like, I don't want to say secretive, but demure, or what's the other word? But she's kind of like that. So whatever things she do be dealing with behind closed doors, that probably she
Yeah.
has an
She also
issue
has
with
a
or
Scorpio
something.
moon. She is
Oh, okay.
Scorpio moon, so I feel like a lot. Yeah, that's because I felt the same way about her. I'm like, she don't show her hand. She don't. I don't think she ever shows
But that's what makes
her
me
hand.
not
Like
care
we.
about her like that. I like real people. And I don't be liking like
But
I
I
got to
mean,
feel you.
but Lemonade. I don't know if you listen to Lemonade, but
Your
Lemonade,
inner
she
child,
started
your inner child
that.
said, "Oh, like
Yeah, I feel like Lemonade, she brought the
your
people
inner child
into
said,
more
oh,
into her personal, more into her personal life with that. But I mean, this is not a Beyonce discussion, so
Right, let's
we
move on.
can
See, the
next
Beyonce
topic.
that took over the damn live. Fuck Beyonce.
Yeah, but the
Anyway, let's
point,
move
but the
on.
reason why I even brought her up was because we were talking about, just having a voice in community and accountability and things like that. And I feel like Beyonce does her accountability in a very Virgo way. Like you use the term demure, modest, like that's very Virgo. So she not gonna shake the table and like get on the news or do her interview or nothing, but you gonna come to her show and that's where you gonna see where she shake the table at, so
Like
it's
if
just,
you
I
know
don't
me
know, I guess
personally,
it's just
like if
finding your way, you
like
know.
Now, you can't never say what somebody should be doing, so that's why I'm just gonna not say nothing, because I can't say what a person's supposed to be doing. I do know, like, never mind. I'm gonna just be quiet. Because you can't say what a person's supposed to be doing. It's just that I be noticing like how these people got all this money, all this clout, all this knowledge on like the world and stuff, but yet nothing changes, and they got the ability like to
but you
start
gotta
some type of
have this.
change, but nothing changes though.
A lot of
right.
the celebrities, some of them, not a lot of them, some of them be having like full self life. We never know.
And hear you free.
Am I on mute?
Okay, then I got her thing off.
Say,
Only thing I can hear that could be interference.
Okay.
Let me mute myself.
I don't know. I hear like
Your song,
I don't know what that is.
it's
To
like
be honest,
potatoes.
Everybody mute up one at a time. See who it is.
yeah.
There you go.
Who was that?
um,
Whoever that was.
That's
I
Let's
don't
it.
even
wait on
know.
the phone.
It got real silent.
Mhm.
I don't even hear. Oh, y'all. Okay.
Free. Say
Huh?
something.
What you
Oh, see
saying?
what? Okay, well then, what you were saying then? Because I couldn't hear you at first. We can
Yeah.
hear you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot.
I think you were saying, hold on, I'm trying to remember. Because I was talking about how these celebrities know things that we don't even know and could do stuff about things that could be
Oh,
an issue behind the scenes that they don't even give a fuck about because they too busy trying to make sure that they keep their money up.
I
And
was
you know what I'm saying? That's what
yeah,
we're talking
I was saying in real life, some celebrities are doing stuff for people and changing people's lives. Like some people have like schools, but they do it probably like in Africa or something, or they'll be doing like little stuff like you'll never know, like, but it's like in real life, and they're doing what they can as one human being, and they're so I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
It's the community.
People
It's the
be
but you
focused,
community
gotta
that
be
we
feel
see
they
like
them a
be
part
focused on the wrong
that we
shit
see
or
them a
something.
part of. it's the community that we see them a part of, which makes things look kind of questionable, you know. But I really just think it's like what we do on a larger scale, because that's just like getting up and going to work every day, you know. Like, we know that people have died, you know, for us to be where we are today and things like that. But we still got to get up every day and take care of our families and take care of ourselves. You know, it's just they are in a spotlight doing it and used for certain agendas. Like, they make them the face of this and make them the face of that, you know, to,
But
I
we
feel like
still
the
have the
reason to
gumption as
recruit them.
individuals. But we still, as individuals working day to day, still got the gumption to get up and try to find and make our own path so that we won't have to abide by these rules and regulations over here. So on an even broader scale, as far as like somebody in the industry, you would think, not to say that it would be easier, it probably would be even harder. But you would think that more people would be like leaning, like people are though. But I guess we just got to get there. I feel like
But you think
at the
about like,
hmm,
how big the world is and how many celebrities there are. Half the time, these celebrities don't be having the same spiritual systems. They not the same people. So it's like they can't get together and work together. So you won't see a group of celebrities probably getting together because they just probably not the same. So it's like personal with the celebrities, like one on ones. But I'm not.
Yeah, and
Maybe I'm just a Libra, but I'm not on their side saying. But I know like people messed up. But some people like I don't know.
they don't be.
they
Yeah,
don't
and
have
then
no
too,
will to do
another
the
point
shit.
is too,
Never do.
just because
There's
they
no
were
will to
big,
do that because where
and
there's a
just
will, there's a way. They don't have the will. They don't give a fuck. They don't care.
and just
They
because
don't
they were
know to
picked
care.
to be a celebrity, to be, you know, highlighted, that don't mean that's their mission to, you know what I'm saying, change the world.
No,
Like,
I
they
know
was
that,
just
but
picked.
somebody at some point, somebody should look at it and be like, okay, let me change myself for the better. And by default, that's gonna change a whole lot of shit around them. But I feel like they just don't have the will. So, and I ain't gonna. When I say they, I'm not pointing at somebody individually or just. I'm talking about they're part of the collective too. And when I say they talk about celebrities, that same they to me can go for the regular people too. They don't have the will. You know what I'm
What about
saying? Not to say that this person a celebrity, he need to do this and that. I don't know what he need to do, but I
like
know somewhere somebody should.
yeah, going into JS topic where she's like, "What is group think?"
Group thing. Yeah.
That's like all of the things that people yearn for, like connection. Where's people original thought to throw an event
Exactly.
or get together within their community, go knock on their neighbor's door, say hi? Like people don't do stuff like that. And I feel like when it comes to unindoctrinating your mind, it's getting over those feelings. Like people be so caught into what happened to them and playing victim, like stuck in the past, and like I feel like it ain't even about, oh, the government lied to you. It's you getting over your feelings, like and I feel like that's one way to unindoctrinate yourself and get
Mm-hmm.
to express your original thought, be yourself. Because if you a person
Mm-hmm.
you want to talk to somebody, you yearn for this relationship, why don't you go get it? Like, and like Beyonce said, like, why are you begging for something that's already yours? Like, but
Yeah.
people are holding themselves back, and I feel like that's one of the main, like, people be held.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of people don't know who they are and don't know who they come from. And I feel like just based off what I've seen, a lot that holds a lot of quote unquote black people back. I feel, because you look at, you know, Caucasian people, or whatever the case may be, and then it's just like, oh, well, they can just get up and do these things, and, you know, why can't you just get up and do it? And I do agree with you, Free. Like, sometimes you just got to get out your feelings and do what you know you're supposed to be doing. But a lot of the times people don't be knowing what they're supposed to be doing because they don't even know who they are. You know, like my grandfather, he he grew up not knowing any of his family. Like, this woman raised him, and but she wasn't like blood, you know. So like when he got with my grandmother, we were his family. Like the kids he had with her, and then me and my cousins, we became his grandkids and things like that. We were all he knew. And one day I just really sat and thought about that. I'm like, I can't. I know I don't know everything about my history. I've thankfully found out what I can find out, but I can't imagine just the real, if you really study the effects that have on people, because white people, they're growing up knowing their whole lineage. Okay, like they have pictures, like I've seen it. They have photo albums. They know their family that's back over in another country, and they go visit their family that's in the country. They got houses passed down, business passed down, and I'm just like, man, like just imagine if we knew, if more people knew where they come from, what type of communities they come from, how their ancestors tended to the lands and things like that. A lot of the times we don't know that, and then on top of that, we are told how to live, and then it's like, imagine growing up and you know that this don't feel right, but this is what everybody is doing. And like that, like that be, and it goes into your point, Free. Like at that point, people just want connection. They just want to feel seen and felt, but a lot of times they don't even know what they feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mind fuck growing up like that. You don't
I
know what
want
to
to add
believe.
to
Was I
that
brought
too.
over here on the boat,
Uh-oh.
or is this where I'm from? It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I grew up a Jehovah Witness. So once I got older, um, 18, you are allowed to go figure out if you want to stay in the organization. On my side, it froze. Can y'all still hear me? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So
We still hear
when
you.
it comes to me getting unindoctrinated from that programming, it happened when I was in a relationship. Unfortunately, that was a toxic one. This was when I was around 20 years old. And in that relationship, it was something I wanted to learn, I wanted to do, I wanted to become a better person for the person I was in a relationship with. And that's when I started. Well, everybody keeps saying I'm a Capricorn. What is a Capricorn? Now I'm starting to study that. Well, now it's like, okay, do I need to go to therapy because I'm hurting the people I'm around? But like, so I literally just wanted to do this. And as I got older, it was still things that, it was weird. It was like a veil. It was like I could have been doing tarot. Like it was like I could have been doing these things because people was already doing it, but for me it was brand new. It was like, oh my goodness, I'm the first person to do this. And then when I look back at the world, it was like people been being themselves. So that's like
Wow, that's
it really
real.
was like, I can't, like that's the best way I can explain
Yeah,
it. It was like a veil,
an
like,
awakening.
yes.
That's crazy. Is that
Yeah.
why Gemini oppose Sagittarius? Because like what you're familiar with is not traveling. It's not expansion. Like like that Gemini Sagittarius opposition. Getting out of your
Yeah.
familiar realm.
Getting out of familiarities. Yeah. Yeah. I was just talking about that earlier today, like just opposite signs. And how you talked about this too, Free, how they actually be a lot alike.
Yeah.
It's just expressed differently, because
Mm-hmm.
Geminis, like they will take, like, they like wherever community they are, wherever they're at, they can learn about that. They can take all the knowledge and connect the dots, and then they can land them across the country somewhere, where now they done hopped on the phone and now this person then said, can you come out here next week? And then they on the plane somewhere, by way of low. Whereas like a Sag, we may just get up and like go. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get up and go to wherever to learn that information. We gonna fly to that country. Whereas a Gemini, they going, well, let me take. You know, it's like that. We still end up at the same destination, but just like doing it a different way. But it can. I feel like where the opposition come in at is the like the I don't know, it's just that fire and air where like a fire just may do, and then like air just gonna like talk about it and like think, and you know, and like logicalize it, and then the Sag is just like, I'm tired like of talking. Like, let's go, like let's get up and go, like that fire, like very impulsive, like think about it afterwards, you know. So but yeah, that's just my little tangent. About the
Well, I was going to
opposition.
say about native of the self before we move on
No,
to the
that was
next
on
topic.
point.
How you were saying, Star, you was talking about your granddad. I forgot what you said already, but you said that he
Yeah,
wasn't raised with his
he grew
people,
up
right?
without knowing his family. He didn't know
That's my
any. He didn't
situation
know his
too.
people.
So that's why I'm kind of like heavy on native of the self, because like, I mean, I can find out, and I have an attachment with my family to where I know like who they are and where they from. But when I learned to start learning about myself, because all my life, and it's probably because I was brought up and like when I began to be aware, I was in a situation where I wasn't with what was actually familiar to my DNA. So my first question was like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, how is that? Why is this? Why? What is this for? Like, what the fuck? So once I started knowing who I was, like actually not through lineages or genealogy, but my own energies, that's when I started all those answers, all those questions that I always had began to become answered. So it's like me just understanding who I am answered so many questions about, like, not
Who
to say
you
that your
were.
genealogy don't matter, of course it matters, but
Yeah,
like all of that
that
stuff
is the
came
way.
with it. You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
came with it. Once I started knowing who I was, it made other things make sense. And
And I
then I
think
was
it's
able to
important.
connect the dots with my genealogy and my actual bloodlines, since I didn't have an actual connection to them, like a genuine one, but I did still know them, and it still was a disconnection. But once I began to understand myself, I was able to connect the dots at that point. So yeah,
Yeah,
just
and I think
understanding your
it's
energies is
important to
important.
remind ourselves too, like Samara, like you said, you was like people was like, oh, you know, you a Capricorn, you that made you want to look more into it. Things like astrology and things like that, for us to have like an attraction to it and be into it and actually use it the way we use it, that we're not the first people to do it. I'm sure we know that. So I look at that as like something passed down from my ancestors. And going back to your point, Jackie, just being aware of that can bring you just that much closer to where you come from, because just the way you use astrology, your understanding of it, that's something that's been passed down, and that's something that you're not the first person doing that, because we see all these other different types of religions, and you know, when you look into it, people, you know, they do their days and stuff differently than what we do, you know. So now
Only
we
reason why we
able.
would, my bad, I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say only reason why we even feel like, wow, I finally found something is because of religion and stuff like that. That's supposed to be something you wake up and see and be like, okay, the sun is hot outside. Like, but they took all that and made it be something that wasn't important. Well, how is that not important? You know, that's why we thought it was such a, you know, the spiritual community, all that woo woo. That's why it got so over exaggerated, because of religion and how that's over exaggerated. Now, when we look at actual nature, we think it's supposed to have that same type of extreme energy to that, because we're still indoctrinated mentally with those same brain, the way the brain works. We
That's
Yes.
found some truth, but the brain
yeah.
still works the same though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
You
was
know,
thinking with the topic. She was like, Jay, I don't know. But the topic is said creating new cultures. It's like for me, I kinda like disconnect from like all the past stuff. Like I barely claim black, I don't claim slave. Like it's like, okay, who am I? What am I doing? So it's like I just be intentional. Like I'm collecting grandparent photos. Like I'm taking pictures of myself, taking pictures of you, get a physical baby book, like, and just, doing my investments and, having my moral systems and my understandings and teaching and understanding, that stuff and just creating something new, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I like how that's put being native to stuff because that's like what native is. Like, okay, I'm from America, So that's what
Mhm.
we got. That's what we just start with because it's like nobody in the past did it. So it's like if
Right.
you want us go finna do it, like you
Yeah.
just the start. Like use your picture.
And and I be in a conundrum when it's time to fill out an application and it say, what are you, black, white, this, that. I'm like, oh
I
shit.
either put
I don't know.
I put
I hate that. I'd be like, I am not black. This is
right.
black. That shit is a fucking box I check off. That is not. I'm
You
not.
don't have you don't have the option. I'm a
That's
spirit in the body.
That shit pissed me off.
exactly like
I used to
this.
yell at the history teacher about shit like that. I used to cry in history class and be going the fuck off like, this shit don't make no sense. Da, 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 da.
Right.
And then he sitting me down like, Jay, but it's within the book and get out of my face. That shit used to get on my nerves. Because I already knew. A lot of the times I would be like, I would be kind of doing my own internal research, but I was always asking growing up about like any elder in my family, like, okay, what was going on? That's how I found out I was Trini, or I have Trini roots in the Native American roots. And I think we got some Latino, but they don't want us to know that. Because my nana was her last name Lopez, so I'm like, it's just a lot of different little things we would see, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't take time to kind of dig deep in with themselves, so they don't know what they got going on. Shawty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree, Jay. I agree. I think that stuff is, when you, I think that stuff is important. Like that's stuff that I do value,
Because you
because
understand
like,
your true natures,
mhm,
like why you show up, why you cook, why you think, and then you
Right.
gotta rewire, like you get into
Mhm.
Mhm.
unroot. So keep
and
going.
right, and then it unlocks a whole new purpose in you.
Yes.
Like that's something that I've really experienced. Like the more
Mhm.
because it's like you unlock that connection. It's like
Right.
a reawakening of, and you feel that
You
connection through
you feel like a
time.
lot of people are like, because I feel like a lot of the youth, they're so
Mhm.
disconnected from self. Like they'll go to Google AI before they'll like think about it for themselves.
Ask
Like,
themselves.
why do you do this, or what do you want? What do you think? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was designed unfortunately, it was
Mhm.
designed to do that, to be that way, this way.
Yeah.
Like they've been setting
Like
this up to
Yeah.
put the kids online.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
so it's like, but
they
that's
do?
where we come in, and we like we
Right.
teach the culture.
Remind them.
right.
Yeah,
Create
this
something
And
this
it's
different,
is the new culture.
which
Yeah.
we're doing in
yeah.
real fucking time. But I think it's
Mhm.
scaring us. But we're happy because it's like we have the power, but we're like, oh shit, we can we can do a lot with this shit. Like we can use it. So we
Yeah.
gotta be
I
mindful.
think now, I think now that like as we're adults, when we're here moving to make a new culture, it's important to look when we go within to look back, what we were doing and like what we were into and stuff like that, like your own story, so that even if you don't know where you're coming from, but like what did you do? Like what did you like to do?
Mhm.
You know
Right.
what
Mhm.
what what resonated with you? Because
Yeah.
those were like tells, I think, just to
Yeah.
really know your own energy.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That's
And
one of the first step. I feel like that's one of the first things I experienced, Shine. Like,
Yeah.
when I was like just, I guess you could say, getting back to myself. I
mm,
just started doing things that I remembered I loved doing as a child,
mhm,
and it started there for me. Because I'm like, this is what felt natural to me. I just did, just because when you just start doing those things, even if you don't continue those things, it's gonna take you to another. It's gonna unlock another thing
Like a whole new, like a
within,
whole
like
different
within doing that. You know,
Yeah.
life.
And
That's
it
why
unlike
it's a
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
when
Like,
you yeah you were
It's
saying
like it's
earlier.
always there, but oh wait, no, free you go. You go.
Yeah, when you were saying earlier, like some people are lost and trying to find themselves. I was gonna say earlier, like it's not about like who you are, because if you try to find who you are and like that's kind of lostness. Because at the end of the day, we all are nothing. We all ain't shit. We all make mistakes, and so it's like we
Yeah.
are nothing. But it's like you just do what you want to do. And as a
Mhm.
kid, you knew like just do what you want to do, and it's like
Right.
yeah,
don't it's not you don't think about it, you just do what you want to do, and that's like your feelings tell you what you care about. And you
Mhm.
just
and
do.
and that's why emotional connection is very important in
Hmm.
community.
Mhm.
You know, we do need our feelings because it's how we navigate life.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
I think it's just understanding what we feel and why we feel those things, you
yeah, and
know.
how powerful they are, because some feelings
Yeah.
you gotta really control your feelings, like that's
Hmm.
why water, because
Always.
power and
Oh,
control
Yeah.
some of
It's a balancing act, a
yeah.
constant balancing act.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
wind blows too hard and it's like, oh, how I feel about that, you know,
I don't know
like.
how I feel about that. Wow.
Like, yeah, I can't. Windy cities, nope. Just do what you want to do.
But y'all, I just pulled up to this little barbecue thing. So I have to go.
All right.
But it's been real. I'll try to hop back in maybe
Come
if
back if
y'all still
more.
on.
Yeah.
But enjoy the rest of y'all night, ladies.
Okay.
I'll
You
talk to
too,
y'all
sir.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Just want to say,
Tree coming back too, by the way. She had lost connection and had so yeah. And if anybody else is joining us watching, y'all can come join at any time.
I ain't heard nothing that. Yo, feedback, Samara. I can't hear.
Samara, I just turned your thingy off. Don't worry. I got
Oh,
you.
Oh, what you say?
So yeah, we're gonna move. Y'all want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what was the last topic?
What would you go
Native
for?
to the self. We already talked about that.
Let's finish what we were saying. The thoughts for you were saying something to.
No, say what I had to say. You can say yeah. I don't do that.
Okay, okay. For me, when it comes down to, I'm gonna just shift the conversation a little bit, but I feel like with all of this stuff, it is good to know. It is good to know your roots. It's good to know to like. It's good to get to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? It helps you better understand the world you're really just creating around others and yourself. So kids, whatever thing you're creating, that's a child. And so I think it's just important to make sure we're thinking about our thoughts and our feelings. I know that was the vibe of this, but we forgot to write feelings. And I should have added that. But
I wrote
basically,
thoughts only because it was Gemini season. I did
no,
that
but it's
on
still,
purpose.
I was like in my mind, I should have added it because I was thinking that when I saw it. But yeah, I think there's just a space where we need to just make sure we know like these are our own thoughts and feelings that we when we grow up we're like it's almost like when we say like, oh, I want to be this when you grow up, when I grow up, da 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 da. It's like, okay, well, we're growing every day, so what thoughts and feelings are you adding to, what is actually helping you create those new spaces versus what reminds you of the older spaces that you were like coming from, but you don't have to resonate with that no more. You can
And
get into a new
also,
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also, go back to the question again.
Hey,
Hey,
Misa.
Misa,
Hey,
Hey,
you
girl.
Misa.
a cute girl.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I love your hair. You look so cute.
But I was
Hey.
when we had came up with this, what to say, what shapes the mental space in the community of the thoughts and the feelings? Like, what do you allow in your space that's gonna subconsciously or intentionally begin to shape shift your mood, what you're feeling, which is gonna influence your thoughts and vice versa?
I,
Like
I I
that was
think
that. Mhm.
I think that you know, I think that goes back to the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like, are you creating habits? Are you creating routines around, like, as a, okay, if I'm an artist or I'm a creative individual, what am I doing every day? What thoughts am I entertaining every day that's supporting that environment, that culture I'm creating around myself? And therefore then I'm going to add to other people who already have similar missions. I don't give a fuck if they are around the world. That's how we even created this space online. So I feel like a part of shaping it is your discipline. What are you like
Mm-hmm.
really doing every day with your thoughts and your feelings? You could be in a funky mood, but one person will go make a song, and one person go work out, and another person be sitting in a mood and fuck everybody day up. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta like add. You gotta figure out which one you're gonna. I feel like shaping comes back to discipline. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add to that?
Of your thoughts
Yes,
and
for me,
discipline.
yes. That's what you're saying is very spot on. For me, what I've been doing recently with my thoughts.
Somebody can't. I'm sorry to cut you off. Can you take the headphones, like unplug them? I feel like that's the problem.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
So what did you don't need Capricorn?
No, not Capricorn. No, not Capricorn. So what I've been doing recently, I've been saying to myself, okay, since we're in this washing machine system, if I were to come back in this same form in the present moment, what am I going to leave for my future self? What am I
Facts.
going to leave for my future self? So everything I do in the present moment, when it comes to, okay, for example, I got scammed. So I let each generation know what company scammed me, how they are moving in today's time because they keep updating the scamming.
Wow.
So my sister's 12 years old. So, you know, I let my father and, you know, my dad's wife know what's going on as well as they do me. So to go back to what I was saying, yes, I really sit here and think about, wow, what am I going to leave for myself? So if I came back in this form, not this one specifically, but another humane, I'm gonna be like, oh snap, Samara was this. Oh snap, Samara was that. What did she practice? Who did she look at? So I'm setting myself up, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Those are my thoughts.
that
Yeah,
makes
you just like practicing what you're
The
preaching.
mind of
Like
a
that.
Capricorn.
that's like me. Like make sure I choose my mom and dad right, getting my feelings and thoughts together. You know, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Right.
choose the right parents.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because that's what we do in the inner child work.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know
Yes, and
what's
shout
crazy?
out to my teacher, JDB, okay?
Like, you know what's crazy? We had got the Empress card. So that's that divine move out energy. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely are using our feminine thoughts correct. I mean, feminine shit. Some bitches is out here being thoughts for real, for real. But we definitely are feminine feelings correctly, which is leading us to the right thoughts, which is why we're having this conversation. So we thinking and we doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so it's allowing us to create a new space, a new culture, which is what we're all doing right now, whether you're watching or you're currently on this panel. Period.
Hmm.
Period.
And the Empress get what she want. Okay,
Mhm.
because I'm so since it is Gemini season, Empress get what she want, and you always can manifest what you want by
And
your
the,
thoughts and your feelings. So
and
depending
the
on how you, hmm,
and the Empress is 3. Even though
mm,
she's
and it's
Libra
three.
and Taurus energy, she's representative 3. Um,
Sunday
yeah.
and Gemini.
Nice. That's my life path,
Mm-hmm.
Andre.
So that's that third house Gemini energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever the Empress want or need or think she want, she gonna get it by default, even if that's not actually, you know what I'm saying, how things be working. You be the
She's
manifesting some shit before you
she
know it, and you ain't even want it.
That's why I said you can just be the culture. The more you work on these thoughts and feelings, you then become a culture of yourself. And then other people add, and then it just started thundering and shit. Other people add to it and help create a different space,
Mm-hmm.
mental space, community where they feel safe to talk or say things
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So Misa, do you want to add anything to this conversation, this part of the topic? Because we have like one big last third topic to dive into.
Can't hear you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Okay, hear you now.
And thank you
Okay.
to all the ladies that joined us.
Just
You guys
one
are
more
so
time.
beautiful. I'm so
I don't want to go off on a tangent. Can you refresh me one more time on what the question was? Was it the thoughts and feelings one?
yes. And then you can still piggyback off the being native to self if you feel called to.
Okay. Because whenever I do see native to self, I think just that it is kind of like what's native to you. So like what you feel for yourself, kind of going forward to build your own culture, and also kind of like what Free was saying. It's kind of like just taking your life's knowing what you do and don't want, really like assessing those feelings, mother and father wise, and kind of moving forward so you don't fuck up for your future lineages to come. Because
Right.
with me basically about to be 29 tomorrow,
Hey, happy birthday,
I've
Child
been
Gemini.
seeing
Oh, it's your birthday.
how my
Hey, happy flight
Saturn
day.
return has been really showing me you are building. But it's definitely been showing me like I am taking my thoughts and feelings, regardless of my past family, like generational curses and things like that, what they've been trying to instill in me.
Right.
I'm having to take what I know in the now, what feels right and wrong to me, and move forward with those thoughts and feelings to basically build my own culture as I'm finding out that is what that is. I'm like, oh, okay, because when you hear culture, you don't really think, well, I was programmed to think that it's just like something everybody does, but it's individual to self and how you want to move forward for your next generation. And that can build onto a culture. And it's like, okay,
Yes.
got much respect to give and much grace to also look at from past coming to now. So
Because we have
definitely it's
people
just
who
something to think about or look at when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
We had women who did
I'm
that
sorry, you
for
said
us.
one more
Did that for
time,
us.
Lovely?
So it's a new responsibility we have because we're aware and we have technology. We have
The echo.
there's an echo. Can y'all just mute it for a second?
Mute.
Yeah.
Can y'all just mute for a second?
Yeah, we're aware of what we're doing right now. Like that's a part of this part of the conversation. So we can't really put the blame on anyone, which was the first part that we were saying. A part of these communities that we were in, they don't take accountability. So that's the problem. But we don't really have any excuses. So
Yeah.
And then me, I think it was Star and Shine when we was talking about this topic about what shapes the mental space in your community being those men and women in your mind. And I hate to say it like that. That sounds crazy, but for real, those thoughts and feelings that in your mind, you can literally see this shit. And not to say that you're blaming, because at the end of the day, you can't blame somebody else when you kind of is the reason why you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing, even down to a man or a woman in your actual life. And I hate to be so particular in the spiritual realm like this, but I am in my own space. Like when me myself, I do be like this, whether you want to say it's delusion or not. When it comes to actual individuals and what they are, I'm a Gemini, so people tend to like it ain't even about none of that. But what people, how they are and how they affect my life or what I observe from them, I look at it as, okay, like how am I processing this internally? However I'm processing it internally tells me a lot about how I can shape my own thoughts and feelings about like that type of vibration that this person is giving me. And then that in turn will shape the actual community around me with the men and the actual women. People like I ain't gonna go that deep. Let me stop. Let me not go too far. But it is the truth. People will leave your life or leave your scenario, die, whatever the hell happens, get lost, just based off of how you receive them or how you process those that same energy in your own mind and in your own heart space. So that's the reason why that's the perspective that I was coming from when we were first talking about that.
Yeah.
and what you're becoming familiar with.
Yeah,
If you are familiar,
it
if
does.
you're familiar with
Yeah,
certain thoughts, you're gonna.
sorry. No, you can.
Am I echoing? Hello.
Oh no, you're good. I was
Okay.
gonna add on to what you were saying because
Okay.
what is it? It just gives me that vibe of some people are here for a reason and some people really are here for a season, and that season literally can come and go just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm And if it's certain things that people, even when it goes to the accountability, what is the echo? Can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, it's gone now. But when it comes down to like certain people that like grinds your gears, I forgot what I was gonna say because that's how if I get distracted either. But about being familiar. Like when it comes down to certain people and back to your own accountability, like certain things that people, even if it is situations that you can't change for real, 'cause I've been in those type of scenarios. Like I can't change the fact that I got to come to this job every day. So like, how is that my fault? But at the same time, and it could because I'm in a different space to where I don't have to be in those type of situations. But it's kind of like if I became familiar with certain ways of thinking about myself, I'm gonna attract or have these type of, even if it's just a TV show that I'm watching and the man is abusing the woman verbally and it hits my heart space, it's still to me, it's like I have even attracted that situation based off of what I become familiar in my own mind space and heart space type shit. So I just want to add that part.
Yeah. It's like after a certain time, like you have to take accountability in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like once you become aware about like we're thinking and feeling every day, and moving every day. So I see what you're saying, Jackie. Like moving intentionally, it's like really helps when you're shaping the mind, mental space, and like choosing your community, choosing your thoughts and feelings, because things come by always. They always flow. Just like people, there's a community of collective. We don't all resonate or relate to everybody, but we have something in common. It flows. So, you can choose that. You can, and, when you're taking accountability, for me, like I choose my thought and feeling, like even if something comes up within my subconscious and I'm aware of it, like I handle that. I handle that right then and there and know where it's coming from, but that's it. I don't have to get so deep into it and just move on and flow, to keep choosing to keep that momentum going. Like when you're realizing the things and shaping your mental space and stuff like that.
And sometimes it get real literal too. And I'm gonna give you examples. Remember, I was just telling y'all about how my sister-in-law was being real ratchet at the park, like embarrassingly ratchet. Earlier that day, I had made a TikTok about, it was a little voiceover, and the lady was singing the song, "I'm looking for some bitches I can hang with, get drunk and get faded." And so the same day, I find myself in a situation like, well, here you go with the ratchet shit. It's like, damn. And it be like that a lot, like the literal specifics of the spiritual realm. I have to get literal with it when I dissect and process it in myself because it is what it is,
Yeah.
But I'm also a life path number 8, so
Also with that,
worth.
you have to have grace within yourself too. Like, even though you might be aware now, it's not like that you fix the problem. It's a process, and we learn that. Just going through the cycle every day and being more aware about what we intentionally do and step by step on a micro level. And yeah, I think it's like that balance, like you parent yourself, but you're also the kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're learning and experiencing stuff too.
What was
But
our last topic? Let's see. I can't see the topic no more. What was our last topic? Because I had exited out and I don't have it no more.
Was it It wasn't the new culture.
JD, drop the last topic. Oh, culture.
What's that one? It.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I had to. Let me drop it right now. This is the last topic.
Mhm.
Okay.
Stabilizing a community.
Yes,
Community
yes.
management, knowing what community is or isn't for you.
So one last thing I gotta add to like a little main overhead. This part.
We came up with that topic, and I don't have no answer for that.
Uh,
To be honest.
That's why I just
Stabilizing.
wrote that blank because I was like, this is some deep shit. This last part.
Stabilizing is
Yeah.
that's sustainable. Something
Mhm.
we can create a routine and actually do forever. But it's like you gotta actually think of what people need to do stuff forever. Like you gotta be practical. And like community management is being able to be organized, you know?
Yeah. I think
Community
that's
is relating. Like we gotta have relationships and we gotta trust each other.
right.
Yeah. And
That's what I was
to have a stable community, everybody got to have a role that they play, and they got to play that role too. Because eventually, what'll happen is one person will be, or whoever will end up taking a lot of the slack, and then that one weak link makes the whole situation weaker. And then, because as a Gemini, I've been in those situations, like not even knowing that that's how a community is supposed to operate, not even knowing that I was in a community, like a family unit, like with my
some of us
family
are
members, not realizing this is a village that we in, and I'm taking most of the slack, thinking that I'm just doing no, everybody's supposed to have a role, because
Yeah.
that's not sustainable if everybody don't have their own particular role and they play it. Because if I can count on you to do this, then all I got to do is do what I do, and that makes things flow easier when you ain't got to do nothing but be yourself and be that.
That's how you know if you're in a toxic
So
fake
I just
ass
like an answer
community, spiritual community. I don't give a fuck if it's a book club community or whatever. It's not gonna be that hard. You
And
shouldn't
community
have
management, that's about the
you
same
shouldn't have
thing.
odd responsibilities that go outside of just
And then knowing what it is for you and what isn't, is if
your
you
own
got to
community.
stretch yourself too thin. Maybe, I guess that could be one way
So
you'll know that that's
you're
not for
showing
you.
up and doing
Or
what
do
you're
you feel uncomfortable while you're participating with these community activities and shit?
if you're doing what you're supposed to do for yourself, you're
I
naturally
can't hear you,
going.
Jada. You talking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is.
If you're showing up and doing what you're supposed to
We
do,
can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
I can hear her.
You hear her? I
Yeah.
can't hear her.
If you're showing
I
up
can
and
hear
doing
her.
what you're naturally
I
supposed
hear
to
her
be
now.
doing, then you will play your role. You know what I'm saying? You'll know your place. And then that comes back to the beginning points of boundaries, accountability. You got to take accountability too at some point and be like, you know what? Do no shit, take no harm. Motherfucker not finna take from me like that. Which is hard to have to sit there and realize some of us are our own community. We are the cornerstone of the community that we live in, and we didn't even know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Until now. So it's like that oh yeah, Moon. Moon
Oh.
said, yep. So
So I guess everybody in the community got to have something to bring to the community then.
Right.
Because what if you don't have nothing to bring to the community? You got effort, like you can try to learn what that is.
Yeah, you can. It's a process to stabilize your community, like even
You got
within
to have
yourself,
yeah.
But you have to have others that know what that is, like,
Yeah.
or you create that image of what that is for yourself, so that maybe that can just stretch out and like.
right. That's why I like the part where it says it's okay to separate, because there is a way of balancedly, I'm gonna make up a new word, of balancedly showing up and still delegating in your community and getting with your shit. You're like making sure your shit get taken care of, but you also helping other people's dreams come true, which is naturally the moment you start helping other people's dreams come true, your dreams are gonna come true. That's how you make your dreams come true. You help others make theirs. So if we all have a dream to have this kind of baby light utopia, because we'll never have nothing that's like that perfect. But if we can be that,
Mhm.
it is going to be a point though where you're going to have to accept that some communities ain't going to be for you. Like some
Yeah.
people you're going to want that badly, like we can have this, but they may just be a group or a space that you were just resonating with at one point, and if they're meant to connect the space that you're truly supposed to be in, of you just being yourself, y'all will come back to the same, y'all will head in the same direction. But if it doesn't go like that, don't beat yourself up or feel bad or them or yeah.
That's why I was
Mhm.
like abundance. People have to think in abundance because right now we in a time in such a melting pot and traumas and everybody don't know what's what. Like we
Yeah.
create like people like it's gonna be so many different type of communities you can be a part.
Right.
Like it is okay to say, "Oh, this is not for me," and like think good, be optimistic that you can find your people because like
Right.
everything is free for all right now. So it's like,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of like you can create a community if you feel like, honestly, even I'll speak for myself. Never in my life have I ever felt a part of any community. I am just now starting to realize I am a part of just communities, and I'm making my own currently, my own new space. And it took me a long time of separating to realize what I was making myself a part of, what others were, where I had to draw those lines and be like, fuck no, that is not the world I'm living in. Like mental, with my thoughts and my feelings, that I had to manage that first before I could start to have proper business relationships or friendships or stuff like this, networking, association building, friendships, all that. So
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have to like honor what isn't for you. Like if you hit your head, you bump your head, make a mistake, or you just feel like something's incompatible for you and your blueprint for your life. Don't go against that. Like that
Yeah.
space may not be supporting like your dream or your visions. So
Another way to well, one aspect to know, like, is a community for you or is another person even for you for real,
yeah, I
is
was about to
if
say that too. Yep.
yeah, because even down to the individuals in the group, like,
Yeah.
are they actually, even if they're not, y'all don't got to be in the same genre of like what y'all do and what y'all's passion is, but whatever the passion is, are they growing in it? And like if they're not, then even if y'all are not the same as far as the passions, but there's a lack of growth and you're steady growing, then that's gonna be even a wider disconnect since y'all already don't even have the same passions together. But I also know people who, because I know people that I am cool with that we don't have the same passions, but we're still growing. And but when I look at other people that I know who I don't have the same passions with, they're still growing, I'm still growing, but don't even fuck with each other. Period. I think so because I'm just not thinking about this right now. I think what that is, it's like they. I don't want to judge nobody, so I might don't even need to say all that. But it may be that their type of growth is not like the type of growth that I'm doing. Like they could be doing a type of growth that's just strictly industrial, and I could be trying to grow industrially and in my like spiritual growth too. And if they're not also doing that, then they're not my people for real. Or maybe they could be. I don't know.
Some
I'll
people you
go
might reconnect
1,500
with.
ways in my mind.
Look,
Hmm?
some people you might reconnect with. We got the Six of Cups. I pulled it out randomly.
Oh
Some people,
Lord.
by you being yourself, planting your seeds, you're gonna create the space for some people. Gonna be like, "This is what I was looking for. I knew you was
Mm.
that bitch too." So you just gotta just say fuck it. You just gotta say fuck
Mhm.
it. Create that damn space.
And then when you said earlier about like making you helping other people's dreams come true, helps your dreams to come true. When I
Mhm.
was early on my like beginning to become aware, ooh, that used to grind my gears. But I always would have to catch myself and humble myself. Cause say
Ah,
for instance,
it's the
because
Virgo energy with the Pisces. You gotta work and help other visions
yeah, but
come.
how it will play out in
Yeah.
when you're in a naive space.
Oh,
I could be talking to, or I could be working on something myself, and then talking to somebody that I know, and then the first thing they tell me. how about this just happened today? And that's exactly what I'm working on. Like in that naive, young, small space of your spiritual growth, and you don't even know what the hell is going on. That's gonna happen a lot. But that's just a marker to let you know, okay, I'm actually pulling strings for me to even manifest this person having to manifest the same thing I just tried to do. Like I've had people on the phone with me while they on the phone with me, a blessing out of nowhere, fall in their lap, and it's exactly what I was supposed to like. I was like, what the? Okay, let me not get mad. I'm not no hater.
That might have been you getting closer to what
It
your
was.
It's a whenever that happens to me or see somebody in a relationship or anything or their business taking off, I look at it like that is a reflection that I'm that close. Like however, you know what I'm saying, whatever I'm seeing, I'm that close.
But now looking back at it, because that was like when that used to happen, and I was like, what the fuck? That don't even make no. Now looking back at it, it still feels like it was a teaser because I never did like the dots didn't connect because what I was meant to manifest had nothing to do with that, even though I tried to like 3D it down into my own mind trying to figure this out. And then here this person comes. This is like when you think of you want a brand new car, the car that you want, you're gonna see it everywhere. It was the same shit, but it's just hit different when you don't really understand. I don't know why I want to bring that up though, because that ain't even got nothing to do with the topic. But when you said that, it made me think about that. But anyway, JD gone at this point. She left. Like, shut your ass up.
First off,
she's back.
I looked up your ass gone.
To say their last point.
But anyway, I just want to bring it up because it stood out and they ain't got nothing to do with it.
I support y'all community. I support our community.
That's so
I didn't even hear what she said. What did she say? Because my phone, she was muted on my end. What did she say?
She supports our community, y'all community. She supports.
Oh.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yeah.
anybody else got anything they want to say, Bisa or Samara or any of y'all?
I'm just happy that you guys are doing this, and I'm happy that I put myself in this position to even add on to the conversation. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next time we're gonna have some clips for real because we said we're gonna have clips and we didn't, but we will for real next time.
Well, I was gonna say also like you hear my echo?
Yeah.
Somebody got to mute up.
All right. Try to.
Not try to shine.
I was gonna say, well, I'm saying it. Okay. Sorry, it's just for me. I'm saying that stabilizing a community, it makes me think about like when you're unindoctrinating your mind, it has to deal with like a lot of transmutation involved right here. Because I mean, especially for me, when I still am unindoctrinating myself more and more every day, but just that beginning cycle was to transmute everything, like, and stabilize a community within myself, like stabilize that starting point where I'm like that original thought, like that the warrior within, to just face those things, to rewire the habit or the pattern that I picked up while being indoctrinated. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, about stabilizing that community. Kind of like when you're unindoctrinating yourself, there's a lot of transmutation involved, meaning like I said, like having that a correct starting point to go through that rewiring process. And while you're going through that, remembering what's the, like, what got you there, why you're there, why you're in that direction, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's what I meant to correlate to like stabilizing, like grounding yourself in that, you know, because that helped me like ground myself and like realizing the patterns or like the way of thinking that I was thinking wasn't even like relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're unindoctrinating yourself, like
Mm-hmm. It'd be so much excess
it'd be so much.
thoughts.
It'd be so much. Yeah, exactly. So it's like that abundance of energy is to take that, like, and form it in your own way, in your own thing to do, like your new community. I think that helps start the new community when you're able to let go of that cycle, right? Let go of that, understanding or understanding that you went through that phase, or that's, that mentality, but it's time to let go, and continue being grounded within that, and in that new phase, in that new community, the new thoughts and feelings that you're experiencing at that moment, to like harness that and capture that, so that you can take that system within your everyday life,
Agreed.
yeah.
When
And
I
then
was,
like, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
When I was on my journey, like before I met you guys, I was like 3 years in of closing myself off and really doing my shadow work. And it got to a point where I thought I was meeting people spiritual, and it was different. It wasn't what I expected. And to go in depth with that, the best way I can explain it, it was more of a Christian spirituality. It wasn't because then I realized that word, I can't really use that word, spiritual. That's what I learned when it came to me, like trying to talk to individuals who had a like mind as me. So it was like, okay, let me not talk to or express I'm spiritual, because again, I'm meeting Christians, or I'm meeting other organizations or religious groups. So it came down to even going on the internet, social media pages, like, okay, I'm talking about what I'm talking about, expressing my thoughts on my page, and whoever liked it, okay, let me look at their page and see what they're talking about. Then it was like, oh snap, who's Dave? Who's free? They're having what? And this is also about business. It's not just the topic on astrology. It was like, let me go there and put myself in those places that I feel like I can speak freely. And boom, landed at the 717 conference. And it's like, okay, now what's next? Where am I going to put you, Samara, speaking in third person? Because you want to build this community, you want to speaking in third person, go to the classes as I'm here today. I am still seeing who's going to be a part of my community, and to even use that word community, as JDB said, and not quoting her, I'm a part of communities. So now I'm in that space of, like I said, just being myself and just putting myself in spaces where we can have these conversations. And I know you and everyone here on this live is making sure that these topics are being expressed freely. And that's what I love. I love that you guys are doing this. So that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Put myself in these positions like this.
Real talk.
Yeah, that's what it is for me right now. When it comes to, like, I have a 9 to 5. I'm the only female. I'm a material handler. I'm the only female. So even me, when I'm at work, I'm speaking like, hey, y'all, I'm speaking with men who have children. And, we get into that conversation of, you're a single father. What do you do? And that's just conversation. And then I always mention, hey, there's this class. They had it for men as well. I always mention you guys to individuals. Like, hey, you know, we got classes for this. Like, we got classes. I can't teach a man how to be a man, but we got some classes. We got some things. And people are amazed, like, what? I didn't even know this existed. I'm like, yes, that's my whole journey right now. Is like, this is huge. What you guys are doing is really huge in my life. It's amazing. I'm really like
I'm so glad.
yes, this is freestyle. I didn't know what the topics are going to be. So thank you. That's really all I wanted to say. Also lastly, in my neighborhood, I'm next to Neighborhood Watch. So every first of the month, every second of the month, the community comes together and we speak about what can we change, what's going on. We talk about should the dogs be on the leash or not. So that's what's going on in the community outside of this community. So me, I'm on the safety committee as well. So being in that environment, it's like I'm already a part of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Like a micro version of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So thank you, and I'm going to continue to be a part of the classes. I'm going to save up my bread, so thank you for this free class. I needed this.
Thank you.
Just wait, we got one coming every month, every cycle, every season.
Thank you. I needed
And
this.
classes ain't gonna. The class price ain't gonna range nothing but between free and maybe $25.
All right, bet I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, this first cycle, so get in early.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think the next class is gonna be. Well, I don't know. We ain't discussed that yet.
Yeah.
But we will.
Amy, so she
Where
helped
everybody
out.
went? Yeah. Oh, Jada just putting everybody out like. She be going. I'm just playing. I'm sorry, Samara. We love you.
I'm sorry, y'all. No, I had to do it to come back and be fair to everybody. So anything, if anybody got anything else they want to add, they can say it though. Like I'll bring y'all back up if y'all got like a last point or something. And the rest of the leagues, we still have the floor, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it, really. We'll see y'all next season, cancer season. So be out on the lookout.
Yes, DLDL.
All right, love y'all. Bye.
I fuck with y'all. I fuck with y'all. I fuck with y'all. I'm sorry, that's just what I say on when I'm ending my videos. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have a great night.